We've reviewed many OLED TVs over the past few years, but it wasn't until recently that we managed to put a 77-inch OLED television through its paces with our test equipment. The mammoth TV in question is Sony's new Bravia kd-77a1 OLED, also sold as the XBR77a1E in the USA, which features a UHD ultra-high definition resolution of 3840 x 2160. The company's X1 Extreme video processing engine, HDR support for HDR10, HLG and later Dolby Vision formats, acoustic surface sound technology, as well as Android 7.0 smart TV platform. Although we've tested and calibrated many 65-inch Sony A1s this year, seeing the 77-inch version once again invoked the sense of awe we first experienced at, say, 2017, when the Bravia A1E was unveiled. Its design is a genuine work of art, pushing the boundaries of minimalism given the technology on offer. The bezel is incredibly slim, and Sony has taken the bold step of removing any prominent speakers. Stand-in logo, though a tiny Sony branding remains etched on the bottom left corner from the screen, letting owners focus on the picture. To make this speaker and standless design possible, the Sony kd-77a1 has to lean back by around 5 degrees on a rear kickstand, a styling element which has divided opinions. It totally didn't bother us at all viewed from the front. We swiftly got accustomed to the tilt back, forgetting that it was even present within a few minutes. The downward-facing connections are located on the central kickstand at the back, and are therefore not the easiest to access even if the TV is wall-mounted. Like all Sony Bravias, equipped with the brand's X1 Extreme processor, only HDMI inputs 2 and 3 support 3840 x 216, so at 60Hz resolution at higher bit depth of chroma, and you'll need to engage HDMI enhanced signal in the user menu to unlock the full potential of these ports. Calibration is straightforward using a Klein K10A colorimeter profile to a JETI 1511 reference spectroradiometer, Muradeo Fresco SIXG signal generator, and Kalman 2017 software. We use the onboard 12-point white balance system to rectify the blue-tinted grayscale, then 10-point controls to fine-tune pre-calibration RGB tracking and delta errors. Day-calibrated RGB tracking and day-after ADV, color temperature adjustments, pre-calibration gamma tracking 2.41, post-calibration gamma tracking 2.40. No Sony consumer TV offers any advanced color management system (CMS), and the kd-77a1 was no exception. However, once grayscale was calibrated, colors fell into place very nicely, with only 2 patches out of 140 measured in the challenging color checker SG chart exceeding the humanly perceptible inaccuracy threshold of delta error D3. Post-calibration color saturation tracking. Post-calibration color errors less than 3 not appreciable to the eye. Post-calibration color checker SG test. Post-calibration color checker SG errors less than 3 not visible to the eye. All OLED TVs can deliver the holy trinity goodness of true zero CDM2 blacks, vibrant colors and wide viewing angles. So what distinguishes one manufacturer model from another in terms of image quality is video processing and quality control. After reviewing and calibrating 2017 OLED TVs from most major brands including LG, Panasonic, Philips and Lowe, we maintain that Sony's A1A1E is best equipped to deal with a variety of compressed sources owing to the following factors: class-leading INTV upscaling courtesy of the X1 Extreme chipset, extracting crisp detail from lower resolution material without incurring excessive ringing or fizziness, a gradual ramping of gamma just above black to suppress near black macro blocking and noisiness, although this technique would result in a slightly shallower black level in dark scenes than competing sets from rival manufacturers. Effective smooth gradation technology to reduce posterization and solarization artifacts not only in 8-bit content but also Ultra HD Blu-rays, for example The Skies in The Martian and The Revenant, and if deployed to increase motion clarity, a smooth-out judder. Sony's motion flow interpolation system tends to introduce less artifacts than algorithms implemented by other brands. Sony's smooth gradation tech keeps posterization at bay. Judging from our experience with 55-inch and 65-inch OLEDs, larger sizes do suffer from more uniformity issues, but fortunately our Sony kd-77a1 review unit bucked the trend. There's no significant color tinting a dirty screen effect DSE on full-field grays and whites, and although the display couldn't avoid exhibiting near black thin vertical streaks that can be observed on all consumer OLED TVs in a pitch-black room, they weren't severe enough to rear their ugly head in real-world viewing. White uniformity on our Sony kd-77a1 BAEP review sample was very good for HDR. Peak brightness on this particular kd-77a1 unit measured 725 nits on a 10% window, and 160 nits full-field after calibration to D65 white point. DCI-P3 color gamut came in at 95%, which is slightly lower than the 65 inches A1, but we doubt many viewers will notice the difference in real-life content. The television tracked the PQ perceptual quantization EOTF electro-optical transfer function specified by the SANT 2084 standard very accurately, and Sony's tone mapping approach favors preserving APL average picture level for a more consistent HDR presentation, at the expense of sacrificing some bright specular highlights which are rarer. PQ-EOTF tracking against SANT 2084 standard, post-Carl color saturation tracking against DCI-P3 standard in Rec. .2020 container input lag measurements behaved exactly like what we've come to expect from a Sony X1 Extreme TV. 31 milliseconds in 4K HDR game mode and 1 frame higher at 47 milliseconds at 1080p resolution owing to the extra up conversion work required. For the most responsive gaming experience, you should send a 4K signal to the Bravia 77A1, which to be fair Microsoft's Xbox One X and Sony's own PS4 Pro consoles are already doing by default. Input lag in 4K HDR game mode lag time with 1080p video signal. No review of the Sony Bravia A1 OLED would be complete without mentioning the TV's innovative acoustic surface technology, which utilizes the entire panel as a speaker by transmitting audio through rear actuators. It sounds crazy, but actually works like a champ, delivering distortion volume, impressive bass, crystal clear detailing, and most importantly pinpoint localization of dialogue, for example as different newscasters speak at various parts of the screen in a rival. Just spitballing, the A1 OLED itself could become the ultimate center speaker if it could be worked into a multi-channel home theater system. Maybe next year. Acoustic surface tech synchronizes picture and sound in the film Arrival benchmark test results: dead pixels, none screen uniformity, multiple near black thin streaks, no vignetting or reverse vignetting, minimal color tinting on whites, overscanning on HDMI, 0% if screen format, full display area, full pixel, or 1+ pixel shift off, blacker than black, past calibrated black level, black screen 0 CDM2 calibrated black level 4x4 ANSI 0 CDM2 black level retention, mostly stable primary chromaticity Rec. .709 slightly oversaturated red primary scaling, best we've seen on a consumer TV video mode, deinterlacing effective jaggies. Suppression film mode, deinterlacing past 32480i 1080 i22576i with film mode enabled, but occasionally lost lock with 221080i viewing angle, cone 166 degrees, motion resolution 650 with motion flow engaged 300 if off. Digital noise reduction optional, effective when engaged, sharpness defeatable, edge enhancement, luma chroma, bandwidth 2D Blu-ray, full luma, full chroma, in-game graphics modes, 1080p 24 capability, no judder, 2160p 24 capability, no judder, measured panel refresh rate 120 Hz, measured peak brightness 725 CDM2 on 10% window, 160 CDM2 full field, measured DCI-P3 coverage 95%, input lag Leo Bodner tester 47 milliseconds in 1080p SDR. HDR 31 milliseconds in 4K SDR, HDR full 444 reproduction, PCS for 3840 x 2160 at 60Hz with HDMI enhanced signal on in-game graphics modes. Video review verdict composed of self-emissive OLED panel, excellent video processing and groundbreaking acoustic surface audio. The Sony kd-77a1 is a veritable symphony of picture and sound. At £20,000, it's significantly more expensive than smaller 65-inch versions, but that's generally the ticket price you have to pay for a 77-inch 2017 OLED TV whose yield rates are much lower, which can provide a more immersive viewing experience through its sheer screen size.